What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Wildstar and the recent data mining of the Wildstar stress test beta client. If you're not familiar with what data mining is, it's where you go into the client and dig up information based on the game files. Like if there's a, if you want to find out what abilities warriors have, you go into the client and find the warrior abilities and see what they're named, and you kind of guess, like, oh, if a warrior has an ability called Sweeping Strike Blades, then you can get an idea of what that would be like, or Charge, or something like that. Basically, you go into the client and you dig around. And this has recently happened for the Wildstar stress test. Now, the reason why this is so exciting is because there's 2 unannounced classes, and we may have, well, I shouldn't say there's 2 unannounced classes. There may be more, but I'm still thinking 2. And I'll get into that in a second. But basically, people went through the client and data mined some stuff. So I'm not going to actually show you guys the client. I have access to the client right now. I can actually go into the files and show you guys. But I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know if that's really breaking. I mean, technically, me talking about this is breaking the NDA, but it's not. I don't think it'll be super frowned upon. But I'm sure if I actually go in and show you guys the files, like via screen cap, that's probably not a good idea. So I'm not going to do that. So don't get mad at me, Carbine. I just want to talk about your game because I'm excited, that's all. I just want to talk about it. I'm excited. Don't get mad. Alright. So, some new classes, new potential classes. These were found in the class section of the client. Potential new classes include Shadow Monk, Medic, Engineer, Elementalist, Reaver, and Charmer. Now, I am not thinking they're going to launch with that many classes. That would mean there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I count that right, there'd be 12 classes at launch. I'm not thinking there's going to be 12 classes at launch, but I do think there will be 2 more classes. And the 2 classes that I think, and one of the reasons I think there's a few reasons. First reason being, there's no way, like 12 classes, that's a lot of classes. And the second reason is on the website, they have 2 classes blacked out that say unannounced. Now, you would think they would have, if they were planning on launching with more classes than that, they'd probably have more black spaces with question marks. Or maybe they're trying to surprise us. I don't know. I just don't think there'd be that many classes. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong and there's a bunch of classes. That'd be sweet. But I would say there's only going to be 2 more. And out of those classes, I think the Medic and the Engineer are most likely to be the 2 classes that will make it into the game. That makes the most sense to me. I may be wrong about this because this is just a rumor, but apparently Carbine said there's going to be a support healer type class that would fall in line with the Medic. And there's also this GameSpot video that shows, this is a 30-minute gameplay demo, and they kind of accidentally zoom in onto a character that's got a staff and is doing some interesting abilities that we haven't seen before. And I don't know, that could be the Medic. So I'm going to roll that video right now. Here you go.
Hey, you know what we like in these kind of button mashers? We like these crazy challenges. They're like, hey, do this thing in a period of time and you get rewarded. And then we turned around and said, let's try it in the game. And it's like for our focus test people, it's like one of the better received systems that we do.
We know you were just talking about the monkeys throwing bananas.
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa. talking about the monkeys throwing bananas.
There's also some pretty good evidence for an Engineer class. For one, it really melds well with the whole Wildstar universe. You've got all this futuristic gizmo technology. Engineer just makes sense. They could do pretty much anything they want to with that class, since there's no, like, predetermined idea of what the Wildstar universe and technology should be. They can, they can make him pull out a laser shotgun, a laser Spas 12 out of his back. And I don't know, the Engineer could be really cool, so I feel like they'll take advantage of that. And there's also, from one of the DevSpeak videos, they show off a character using a rifle. So, like a rifle, not 2 guns. The Spellslinger, they use 2 guns like cowboys. This guy has a rifle.
We've got mouse look, turning, and strafing. Basic, I know, but important when you're trying to, say, line up a power shot.
So that could be the Engineer. I feel like it would be a waste for them not to take advantage of an Engineer class, especially since they can do anything they want to in the Wildstar universe. The other classes don't really seem unique enough. They seem pretty redundant. The Shadow Monk sounds really similar to the Stalker. The Elementalist seems really similar to the Esper and the Spellslinger. The Charmer sounds really similar to the Esper and the Spellslinger. Reaver sounds like it could be cool. Maybe the Reaver? I don't know. Again, that sounds really kind of similar to a warrior. But the one thing that has me from dismissing these rumors altogether is the fact that with my current predictions right now, there are way more ranged classes than melee classes. The two announced melee classes are the Warrior and the Stalker, and the two announced ranged classes are the Spellslinger and the Esper. Now, if let's say the Engineer and the Medic make it into the game, that would mean there'd be two more ranged classes than melee classes. Maybe the Engineer and the Medic aren't considered melee or ranged. Maybe the Engineer and the Medic are like these two specialty support classes. That would make sense. That sounds like that could be the case. Engineer is kind of a melee range support hybrid, and the Medic is kind of like its own thing. Maybe those are the support classes. That makes sense to me. I don't know. I think that'd be badass. You have two main melee classes, two main range classes, and then two support classes that are like, I don't know, jack of all trades kind of. They can do it all. Now let's speculate about the two new races. Now I think I have the two new races figured out. I think the Exiles are going to get this Undead race, and the Dominion are going to get this cute little furball race called the Chua. Not sure of the name of the Exiles race, but it'll be this Undead thing. One clue for the new Exiles race comes from the Meet the Exiles trailer. I'm going to post a screen capture right here. You'll notice the one to the far left is Undead. Those are the Exile races doing thumbs up. You got the Granok with the huge hand, the human. I'm assuming the other one's the Aran. And then you have this Undead with the bone. That's probably the new race. And for my evidence for the Chua, the little furball race, this comes from another developer video, the same GameSpot video, where they were interviewing a developer. And they show this little Chua race, and they go into detail talking about how it's a mad scientist race.
If we fly over here, I'll show you one of the quests, just like you asked, a fun quest. There's this race of creatures that remain nameless that you'll get a quest off of, and this quest is to again, they're crazy scientists. They always have these crazy gizmos they're trying to put together. Right here, what it is this kind of strange space rhino that is literally strapped with about 2 tons of explosives.
And that right there could be evidence enough that they've spent some real time developing that race. They've got voice acting for it. It seems to be a well thought out race, and it makes sense when you think about it. So you've got the cute little Dominion race, which is the little furballs. You've got the cute little Exiles race, which is the Aran, the little bunny people. Then you've got the humans, which are on both sides. Then you've got the huge monster towering races of the Granok on the Exiles and the Makari on the Dominion. And then you've got the two weird races, the dudes with horns and the Undead race. It makes sense, like balance-wise. You don't want to give just one. You don't want to give just one side the cute race. They both have to have their little cute race. They both have to have their big race. They both have to have their humans. They both have to have their weird race. It makes sense to me. Now to get on to the next thing here, flying mounts were confirmed in this little data mine. We sort of already knew about this. The devs talked about it. They're still sort of trying to figure out flying mounts. A lot of people don't like the idea of flying mounts, me included, sort of. But they've been talking about a lot of solutions, and they're pretty open to things like gas tanks, aka you can only use your flying mount for so long, or it's got to recharge, so you can't just fly around the entire world all the time. I kind of like that idea, because flying does sort of trivialize everything. You know, as soon as you get a flying mount, that big mountain that you have to climb up and fight your way to the top to, or, you know, the Explorer is completely trivialized with a flying mount. You can anybody can explore anything with a flying mount. You don't need to find secret under the ground zones or secret passages when you just fly over everything. You don't need to see that shit. So hopefully they make flying not overpowered. That's what I hope. And another thing that I think will be cool is surface-to-air missiles. How kick-ass would that be? You whip out your Strela and just shoot somebody out of the sky and gank them. That'd be badass. Some way to dismount people in PvP. Or when you're flying into a world PvP zone, you just get shot down. You can't be in the air, or you just get shot down. I think that'd be sweet. So, that's pretty cool. Hopefully they do that right. I hope flying is not overpowered. Another thing confirmed, dyes. That's good. I'm glad they're having dyes to the game. Makes sense. I think character customization is going to be a big thing in Wildstar. Transmog, being able to take the skins off one armor and put them on another armor. I think that's pretty much confirmed. The devs were talking about that, which is good. Customization and looking the way you want to look and looking like a badass is very important. So I'm glad that they're doing that. What else do I have written down here? I think that's it. So my thoughts on the new classes. I think there will be 2 new classes: the medic and the engineer. Also, oh, there was medic UI. So I think the medic is probably going to be in the game. There's I'm not going to show the UI. You can find it if you go on the Wildstar Reddit. I don't want to get this video in trouble, but there is a picture of UI that looks to be of the medic. So there you go. Shadow Monk, don't think it's going to make it into the game. Elementalist seems too much like the Spellslinger and the Esper. Reaver, don't think it's going to happen. Charmer, nah. I think the way the classes are going to go, you got 2 main melee, 2 main ranged, and then 2 support classes with the engineer and the medic. I think that'd be badass. We'll see how it goes, though. Very excited for Wildstar. If you guys have any suggestions or things you want me to talk about, or if you know things that I don't know, please tell me in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.
We've also got a whole bunch of class abilities that take advantage of movement. Leap and smash that guy. A little teleport right here. Oh, and my personal favorite. How about I just tear a hole in reality to switch spots with a robot?